This podcast is brought to you by my good friends at Churchill Mortgage, the only mortgage company I recommend. For great rates and outstanding customer service, visit churchillmortgage.com or call 855-LOAN-200. That's 855-562-6200. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour, Steve in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, it's an honor to speak to you. I am an FPU coordinator up here in Minnesota, and I have a couple that need some guidance that I don't know if I can give them, so I was hoping you'd give me some advice.
Give it a shot. Thank you for coordinating the class.
Oh, my pleasure. They have so they have about $80,000 in total debt, $70,000 which is student loans, and it's a mixture of private and federal loans. And they have they own a duplex. They have about $40,000 equity in that, and their home they have about $30,000 equity in that. And the husband of the couple is basically saying, well, we should not pay anything on the student loans. We'll negotiate that later on once we get everything else straightened out in our lives. And he wants to save the duplex for retirement. And the wife is like, well, maybe we could sell both and rent and just get rid of a lot of this debt. And so I didn't know if one of those two sounded good to you or if there was some kind of compromise. It didn't really fit into any of your steps that I could tell. So
what's their household income?
You know, I'm going to guess that it's about 40.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a stay-at-home mom. So
okay.
It's in that range,
what lesson are you guys on in the class series?
We're on lesson 5, so we just got through. Debt.
Okay. So this guy sits through dumping debt, and his best idea is to ignore the student loans and hope someday we can negotiate them.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm calling you.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've obviously got a problem there. This guy's not bright.
Well,
man, we just served him up lobster and potatoes. I mean, we gave him a feast right in front of him on how to get out of debt, and his first choice is to completely ignore it.
Yeah, I think it's more the shock of the fact that he'd have to sell the duplex.
Yeah, he needs to sell the duplex. He needs to sell the duplex, and he needs to take an extra job. I would keep your home in this case. I don't sell your personal residence, but this guy's not in a position to be a dadgum real estate investor. He's $80,000 in student loan debt with a $40,000 income and a stay-at-home wife. There's just this math. There's nothing about this math that says real estate investor.
No, I would agree with you there.
Now, that duplex has gone in an eye blink. I would keep your personal residence. Get your butt on a beans and rice and beans budget. And let's pick up some extra jobs, and let's see how fast we can attack that other $40,000 worth of student loan debt. If you did 10 a year, that's 4 years and you're out of debt. If you do 15 a year, it's pretty tough on that, but it might be done, depending on what his extra job is and how much he makes.
Yeah, so that's the other problem is that the current job that he has doesn't really allow him to have an extra job because it's almost like I don't want to get into too much specifics, but it's like on an on-call thing. So at any moment he could get a call and, hey, I have to go into work. Yeah. And so if he's
not paid enough to be on call 24/7.
Well, that's true.
So he needs to look at career changes then.
Okay.
Because if you're on call and you make $150 a year and you're a doc, that's one thing.
Yeah.
$40,000 a year does not buy on call.
Agreed.
That's not a good use of his time and energy. So he may have some career choices to make and or just put some limitations on this. But he's got to create some income to reasonably get the other $40,000 paid off as soon as possible. But that duplex is gone. We'll rebuild retirement. We'll rebuild retirement later when we get your income up and get you out of debt. But right now you got a crisis on your hands, son.
So would you take the $40K he gets out of the duplex and pay off the non-student? I mean, I know you would do the debt snowball, right? So,
exactly.
But you would pay off the non-student loan debt, and then because that's all the wife's debt, actually. I
really, it doesn't matter whose it is; it's their debt. Yeah. They're married, and I would just work the debt snowball regardless because we're going to have to pay the whole 80 off.
Yeah,
it's not like there's one of these that's not going to get paid off. And so I'm just going to list these debts individually, not as a category, smallest to largest, and I'm going to pay the first $40,000 worth. It's probably going to be a mix between private and public, or private and subsidized. And that's fine. And the point is we got to have a different vision he needs a different vision for his life, and that is to look past this debt and what have we got to do to get to the point that we get past this debt. Because they've been carrying this around. It's a monster in their closet. It's been oppressing that family to the point that they can't dream anymore. They can't think anymore clearly because his suggestion is so ludicrous. That tells you how hopeless they've been and for how long.
Okay. It's been an honor speaking to you. Thank you very much.
You too. Thanks for leading the class, man. Appreciate it. And that's what you've got to do. You got to give them some hope and let them see how they get out past it because we're just not going to deal with it. Yeah, that's a strategy. Oh, man. And that people do that, though, and sometimes they do. Haven't you done stupid stuff? I've done stupid stuff when I was hopeless. Right after I get desperate, you know what I get next? Stupid. Stupid usually follows desperate. And hopeless is right in that track somewhere, right? And I've been there where I didn't think I could make it, and so that makes me desperate, and then I go do some stupid butt thing, and that's really what we were hearing there from that guy. I was picking on him pretty hard, not the coordinator, but the guy he was talking to. And so he just doesn't see a way out, and so his answer is a dumb idea because he doesn't see a way out. That's what hopelessness does to it. Proverbs says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. But when desire comes, it is the tree of life. Lindsay's with us in Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thank you so much for taking my call. So my employer switched payroll companies this year, and somehow or another, I make a lot of my income due to bonuses. They didn't take any federal withholdings out of my bonus checks.
Did you not notice that?
No, of course not. I just got the check and cashed it and thought, woo.
Well, don't you look? I mean, you don't look at your stub and see if you got withholding on it?
I do now.
I guess so.
I do now. Anyways, so I owe the IRS $8,000.
Good Lord.
And I was wondering if I should ask my company, since they were the ones that did not withhold the funds like they were supposed to extend me an interest-free loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They're under no obligation to, but
No.
Sometimes we might call that like a salary advance.
Right.
Or an advance on future bonuses.
Okay, and then I would just...
Yeah, I'll pay it back out of that, and the loan is paid back out of a salary advance. But, yeah, that would be a normal thing for a company to do that is screwed up like this. They're under no legal obligation to do that, but, they kind of morally should help you. They help cause the problem. And like you said, you caused the problem by not watching it, too. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. I'm joined today by my daughter Rachel Cruz for the Churchill Mortgage question of the day.
John in Memphis wants to buy a house, but his credit is low. What does he do now to get a mortgage? I wish I could tell you for sure that Churchill Mortgage will give you a loan no matter what, but I can't. It's going to be difficult to get a mortgage where you sit today. The good news is if you close all your accounts with your credit bureau and you have no credit, your credit score will become 0. And Churchill can work with a 0 credit score. You'll just need to establish the ability to handle financial responsibilities. Give Churchill a call call at 855-LOAN-200.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591, Equal Housing Lender, 761 Old Hickory Boulevard, Brentwood, Tennessee, 37027.
Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. Well, it's March. Can you believe it? Man, this year goes fast. This life goes fast, doesn't it? For a lot of people, spring cleaning time is right now, and it's a perfect time for you to start cleaning up your money. Yeah, if you're ready to spring into action, did you see how I did that? That's pretty cool right there, yeah. If you're ready to take control seriously, we have a cool thing happening in our online store. You can pick 3 of our best-selling books and tools for only $33. Now, that's a savings of about $9 a piece on average. Or you can get even more. You can pick 5 of our best-selling books or tools for only $50. You pick. That's even a better deal right there. So, the pick 3 debt-busting tools like Total Money Makeover maybe, or maybe Rachel's new book, Love Your Life Not Theirs, or whatever, a dumping debt DVD. You can put it all in a pile. Get 3 for $33, or you can pick out 5 and get for $50. And that includes some of the ebooks, the audio books, the DVDs, the many, many national best-selling books that we've got here, and they're all about you getting control of your life, your money, your leadership. And so check it out, DaveRamsey.com. CJ's follows me on Twitter. You can, at Dave Ramsey. There's about 800,000 of you doing so. Thank you for hanging out with us on Twitter. I'm on there almost every day messing with folks. I answer an occasional question, but mostly I'll just post some stuff that'll make you think and make you think you can win because you can. He says, what's your opinion on using local banks versus credit unions? You know, a small local community bank or a credit union, I endorse both. And I'm happy for you to use either one. As far as versus, I don't have a versus. What I would do is choose the people that are involved in the small local bank and the people that are involved in the credit union. In both cases, you're going to find a different spirit in there. Why anyone would do business with the mega banks like the Fifth Thirds and the Bank of Americas and this kind of stuff is in the Wells Fargo. My gosh, did you see that mess those people did? I mean, they're just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they just treat you like crap. They treat you like a number. And you can't get service. I mean, there's a few good people working those places, but not many. Most of the good people left those. So your community bank, your local bank, even a regional bank I'm okay with, or a credit union. But the rest of these, I just tell people to stay completely away from. Now, the difference in a credit union and a bank is that a credit union is technically a nonprofit organization. And so whatever, quote, profits they make have to be plowed back into reduced prices or increased interest rates on your savings account, or they may open another branch with the money to give you more access. They may, upgrade their software with the money or whatever. But there's no stockholders taking home the profits. When you are a member of a credit union, you are one of the owners. That's what membership is. It's in a sense a co-op, if you will. And sometimes bankers get all mad about credit unions, and they're like, "Well, they don't have to pay stockholders." And well, that's true. You could pay your stockholders less and give your consumers more too. It's a possibility. So, but sometimes credit unions have better deals on interest rates, on checking, packages and that kind of thing. But I got to tell you, community banks compete with them. They're right there with them. Again, because they're so customer-focused versus the mega bank. So, CJ, I endorse both, and I do so wholeheartedly and unashamedly. I'm proud to endorse credit unions in many cities across America. I'm proud to endorse local community banks in many cities across America. And so, and if you hear my voice on an ad for one of those, it means my team has checked it out in detail, and it's somebody we're very comfortable with. And in many cases, I've been endorsing them for years and years in many cases. And again, I do so unashamedly and wholeheartedly. I'm happy you're going to bank somewhere. I bank I've got, I guess, 3 different banks we deal with, and all of them are local or regional banks, even for my business. And obviously that's a pretty good size series of accounts right there. So, good question. Lisa is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi. I have a what would Dave do question for you.
Okay.
Okay. We are in baby step 3 with a $20,000 emergency fund in place, and our income is increasing from $85,000 to $120,000. I just went full time.
Wonderful.
And yes, and we currently owe $85,000 on a house that we had a CMA of $200 to $225 on, with a $650 a month payment. But we're 35 minutes to an hour and a half from everything, 40 minutes from work for both my husband and I. And we are trying to decide if we want to get a house that's closer, because we'll be moving south in about 5 to 7 years. But the drive is really working on us. But we don't know if we want to triple our mortgage payment. It kind of chokes us a little bit. So,
you know our guidelines. If we have a 15-year fixed rate where the payment is no more than a fourth of your take-home pay, we don't yell at you for that, and we don't want to continually, every time your income goes up, continually start a mortgage over. I mean, the goal is to be out of debt. You said you're moving south in 5 to 7 years. What's that mean?
Just because of better weather, and we just want to move. Both of our jobs are transportable. We're just waiting until the kids are a little bit older.
How old are the kids?
12, 9, and 5.
What's the difference in moving now and moving in high school?
Just because we wouldn't have a network down there. Do you know what I mean? And we have family that's up here and grandparents that were, help out and dying of cancer, and not that we're waiting, not waiting on them, but, kind of keeping the network together until they aren't together.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So the only reason we would be moving is to make life easier in a temporary time, but we're kind of arguing over an $1,800 mortgage, but, the increase in better lifestyle, but then, $1,800 mortgage. I guess we're struggling over that increase.
Yeah. I'm thinking for what you're spending on mortgages, you could buy a lot of airline tickets and go ahead and make your move.
Yeah.
That's another way.
I just took that job, and I
thought you said it was portable.
It is. It's medical. So, medical, it's a day shift clinic job. Making $75. I'm afraid that I won't be able to find a clinical job. I'll probably be in the hospital.
Oh, so it's not portable. The job's not portable. Exactly.
Portable.
I mean, you would just change career. I mean, you would change jobs, but within the same career. You just think you can find a job is what you mean.
Right. I'm a radiology tech, so,
Yes, you can land something. Sometime. Yeah, that makes sense. It's marketable. I mean, I don't mind you moving if you want to move. I am tempted to go ahead and make the move that you want to make, though. Or say we're going to stay here 2 years instead of 7, and we'll put up with the commute for 2 years, and then we're going to make the move south, or something like that. I mean, I'm trying to do one move instead of 2 is what I'm thinking. Time is a valuable resource, and if you're planning an event, our friends at Gig Salad can help you save a ton of it. Gig Salad makes it easy for you to hire great talent. They offer simple online booking for performers and services of all types, from cover bands to caterers, face painters to photographers, and magicians to mariachis. If you want to save time while planning an awesome event, I recommend gigsalad.com. To book talent for your next party, wedding, or event, go to gigsalad.com today. In Amarillo, Texas, Paul and Sylvia are with us. How are you guys?
How are you?
I am better than I deserve. I see on my screen you are debt-free. Congratulations.
Yes, hey, Dave. Yes, we are debt-free. We have paid off $100,000 in 20 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
We started out at 100 and finished at 140.
Great. What do you two do for a living?
I'm an ER nurse.
And I'm a transportation director.
Okay, very cool. Good for you guys. What kind of debt was the $100,000?
Well, we had a little bit of everything. We had 65 of student loans, 10 on a 401k loan, 5,000 on a credit card, and 20,000 on a travel trailer.
Wow. Did you sell anything big?
Yes, we actually sold Paul's truck. We got $4,000 for that, and then we sold a travel trailer, and that brought in $15,000.
All right. Very cool. So what happened to you guys 20 months ago? You went crazy. Congratulations.
Yes, we had to. Well, I was complaining at work to one of my coworkers, saying, "Oh, the car needs tires and this," and just whining. And she goes, "You need to do what Dave Ramsey says and have $1,000." And I'm like, "Dave Ramsey?" She's like, "Yeah, he'll tell you how to get on a budget." And I'm like, "Okay." Next day, I went to the bookstore and just bought the Total Money Makeover, read it in 2 days, and I was in.
Wow. So, Paul, your wife read this crazy book. What did you do?
I was kind of reluctant at first. Sounds nice, but we're living like we normally do, you know.
Mm-hmm. And she wants to turn everything upside down. So, how did you guys end up getting on the same page?
But finally, I don't know, something went off on Paul. He's like, "All right, I'm ready." So we just hit it, and I think once we both started being together on the same page, I mean, it just went by. Because next thing you know, we're halfway, and I'm like, "I can't believe it. We're already halfway done," and it just flew. And throughout this whole time, we have 3 teenagers, and, I mean, they were great. At first, they were like, "Oh, we want to go out to eat." We're like, "No, we can't." And they're like, "La, la, la," whining. But once we just told them no a few times, they wouldn't even ask. So it went good.
Wow. Well, very good. Very cool. So when people find out you paid off $100,000, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's so impressive. Congratulations. I'm proud of you guys. When people find out you paid off $100,000 and they say, "How did you do that?" What do you tell them the main thing you got to do, the main 2 or 3 things you got to do if you're going to get out of debt is?
Okay, to me, it was you have to make up your mind. This is what you're going to do, and just go get it. Also, work a lot. I had 2 jobs and lots of overtime, and then, of course, the budget. That was, once we got on every dollar, I mean, things just went smooth.
Very cool. What about you, Paul? What do you tell people the key to this is? Having a wife that's on fire?
Yeah. A wife on fire, and then making sure that you're both on the same page about everything, because if you're not on the same page, it doesn't work very well.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, congratulations, you two. Very, very well done. We've got a copy of Chris Hogan's Retire Inspired book for you. That's the next chapter in your story, becoming millionaires and outrageously generous in the process. And we'll send that right out to you. Kelly will pick up, make sure she's got your details on when we put you on hold in a minute. But in the meantime, let's count it down. Paul and Sylvia, Amarillo, Texas. $100,000 paid off in 20 months, making 100 up to 140. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3,
2, 1, wake it free!
That's how they do it in Amarillo, people. I love it. Yeah, baby. There you go, just like that. Very, very well done. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. Amanda is next in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Amanda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I have a what would Dave do question about our car situation. We are on baby step 6, and we've purchased our one of our cars with cash, and the other one I've had since high school. And so we are trying to save up for a car replacement, but then our good car's transmission is needing to be replaced. And so we're in a dilemma of we'd already put in about a little over $3,000 in our good car in the last 6 months or so on different necessary repairs. And so we're kind of at a point, do we repair this car or do we use our car replacement fund to get an okay car, or do we borrow from our emergency fund a little bit to purchase a car from a family member who is wanting to get a different car? And that car is only, I think, 2 or 3 years old. It has 24,000 miles, and that seems like the most enticing option because it's only 2 or 3 years old, and we would.
Well, the bottom line is you cannot buy that car and fix your other car without hitting the emergency fund, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
And how much would you be hitting the emergency fund for?
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is, and we've been doing your principles since.
And how much would you be hitting the emergency fund for?
Well, it depends on the transmission, how much the repair of the transmission.
So you don't have that. You don't have that bid yet.
No, no, we don't, and we have about $6,000 or so in our car replacement fund.
Okay. And what does the car from the relative cost?
And say that again. I'm sorry.
What does the car from the relative cost?
Either between 9 and 10. Depending on the.
Okay, so you couldn't buy it anyway, even if the transmission wasn't out.
Not unless, right?
Yeah.
Not with our car replacement fund.
So you're not a candidate for the relative's car. You don't have the money. Buying a car is not an emergency.
Okay. Well, I guess we're just thinking we feel like our good cars. It has a kitchen sink fund. I feel like we're just.
Well, that's a different situation. Set the good car transmission whole thing aside. You have $6,000 saved for a car. You're wanting a $9,000 car.
Which we were, yes, and we had planned on doing this.
That simply doesn't fit. You don't have. It's not an emergency. You can do whatever you want to do, but you call me, what would I do? I'm not going to name buying a car an emergency. No.
That's what I needed to hear.
Period. Now, I might name fixing a transmission an emergency, but even if we did that, if you take the money out of your emergency fund to fix the transmission, you don't have the money to buy this other car. You have $6,000, you need $9,000. What's your household income?
Well, my husband just got a new job, and so I have no idea. It's around 75, I would say.
Okay. All right, good. And
but we're in month 2. I still don't know exactly
what. The relative that's selling the car, are they in a hurry?
Well, they were wanting to. No, we were going to buy it from them when we reached our goal to buy it from them.
Good, that's the way to do it.
And then our transmission.
Now, how much is in your emergency fund?
Our emergency fund's about $10,000. We had to dip into it in the fall to take care of.
Okay, let's pretend that the transmission is like $3,000. Okay.
Okay.
And you get a rebuilt transmission to put in this other car with your local mechanic, not with a car dealer. Okay, which will charge you twice as much. And you take that out of the emergency fund. and you ask the relative to wait until you get the final $3,000 saved. And you get the $3,000 saved, you buy the car with cash from the relative without touching your emergency fund, and you got to put your emergency fund back together. You're going to be a little bit slim on it because you can use an emergency fund for a transmission that's out. You can't use it to buy a car you can't afford. That's not an emergency. Thanks for joining us, America. Jeff is with us in Chicago. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for what your entire team does for many millions of people. We appreciate it greatly.
Well, thank you. How can I help?
My question is, as a result of a short sale of a rental property, Fannie Mae said, the bank mortgage company will lose, the second will lose. But, oh, by the way, because of your income, we want $13,000 in order for this short sale to be approved. My question to you is that money negotiable? Meaning, can I call these people that I am paying $170 a month to and give them an offer? Or because it's a Fannie Mae thing, it's just part of my debt snowball?
So the deal is done. The short sale is closed, yep. And you owe the money to who?
Fannie Mae.
Fannie Mae is who you owe money to. They financed the deficit.
They did, and they sent it to an agency called, I won't use their name, but I am paying a third party to settle that $13,000 at $170 a month.
Is the third party a finance company?
No, they're a collection agency, I believe.
Okay. I wouldn't be shocked if they would accept less. I don't know what the arrangement is between Fannie Mae and this organization. Okay, so right. If Fannie Mae wrote a note out for $13,000 and then they sold that note to someone at a discount, that's one thing. Okay, and in which case, that company that you're paying has an actual hard cost of real dollars invested in that note. And that's going to mean the likelihood of discount by you is going to be almost zero, okay? But if they are simply servicing it on behalf of Fannie Mae, who put the deal together, Fannie Mae, this is money that they're just glad they're getting it all, and, yeah, they might very well take an offer.
Okay.
And so the answer is I don't know because I don't know the relationship in this situation. And when in doubt, I try.
Right.
I would just call them up and go, I think I might be able to scrape together some money. Would you guys consider giving a discount if I paid this off early, and how much? And they may just laugh and say, you're crazy, not a chance. And, what do you think we are? And, you probably just have to pay it then, right? But if they go, yeah, we take these offers all the time, and our typical is about 72 cents on the dollar, and say, okay, I'm going to send you a check so once I get that in writing. But you want to get that in writing from them.
Yeah, I've heard you say that over and over. But they're not going to come back and go, hey, how much do you make a year? And start asking me.
They might. There's no telling what they'll do. But, I mean, worst thing you can just go is just, I don't want to enter into all that. I'll just write you a check. I'm paying it off, But, you don't have to answer all the questions. It's not mandatory. It doesn't reopen the case where instead of 13 it becomes 20. It is 13. That's your worst case scenario. You have to pay it in full.
Right.
Then the only question then is how this thing's structured and where this money came from and so forth, and would they accept less? If they're simply servicing it for Fannie Mae, they'll probably make you a pretty sweet offer for a lump sum settlement. That would be my guess. Hey, thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jerome is with us in Bentonville, Arkansas. Hi, Jerome.
Hello, Dave. I appreciate it. I just wanted to call and bounce something off of you real quick and get your take on it. I currently work for a government agency. They provide great health benefits, great retirement, very stable and secure. However, the pay's not that great. I make $39,000 a year. I have another job opportunity on the table. They don't offer the retirement, health benefits, etc. And I was just wondering, what is the lowest threshold I should accept to leave my current company to compensate for the benefits and things that I'd be losing here?
Well, I think you can kind of add them up. There ought to be real dollars involved. I mean, so the new job offers no health care at all?
Correct.
Okay, so you jump online and look at our ELP for health insurance at DaveRamsey.com. Call the endorsed local provider for your area and get a bid on health insurance from an independent insurance broker. Okay, and the other part they offer is retirement at the government, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what kind of a retirement do they offer?
They have a state program, which is APRS, and then they also offer a 457K.
Well, the 457 is of no value because that's only if you put money in, unless they match. Do they match on the 457?
No, sir.
No, that's just deferred comp. That doesn't bring value to you. You can do that on your own. You've kind of got to put a value on what that retirement program is worth, and I don't know off the top of my head on that. That's not quite as easy. Again, you could just hit one of our SmartVestor pros, tell them what the program is there. They probably are familiar with it because they're in Arkansas as well. And, they can probably give you a value and say, that's probably worth $300 a month, or it's probably worth, $50 a month. It's probably worth a couple $1,000s a year. They'll tell you. And, your health insurance, you're going to say it's $500 a month or it's $800 a month, and just, what's that worth a year? And then you add those to $39,000 and you get your deal. What's the offer from the other company, your new company?
It's going to range between, and there's still more details to work out, but between $53,000 to $59,000 a year.
Take it.
Okay.
Your healthcare and retirement are not worth that.
Okay.
You can go buy health insurance cheaper than that. And I mean, assuming you can get insurance and, all the stuff going on with the Obamacare replacement and all of that. But check with health insurance professional ahead of time to know what your health insurance is going to cost so you know what you're getting into. But, dude, there's no way. I mean, those benefits are not worth $20,000 a year.
Right, and that's what I was looking at was because my wife's work does offer health insurance, so we would just move over to theirs.
Okay, what's that cost?
I just didn't know for the stability and the secure job.
Yeah, almost nothing because stability is up to you. Your value in the marketplace is what gives you stability. The government's not going to, just come in and shut down most likely, but they do fire people.
Sure.
And, you could get caught in a crossfire with internal office politics or something with some jerk that gets in there. And, the stability is up to you your ability to leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home is where your stability comes from. That's an illusion. So I don't put much value on stability, very little. I mean, if there's a $2,000 spread or something here, but, dude, for $20,000 a year, in 10 years, that's $200,000. Not to mention raises in the open market will be different than governmental raises, right?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah, this is, and do you like the new position? I mean, is it something that's exciting?
Yes, it'll be managing multiple crews and multiple people, and I enjoy management, which I have a management job where I'm at. It would just be more so.
Yeah, okay. It sounds to me like it's a no-brainer. I think you do it. I think you do it. I don't unless the company you're working for, you question the new one, you question their ethics or you question their stability. You think they're managed poorly, so they may collapse, or something like that, and you just feel like you're jumping, really into a high risk scenario. But the difference in a traditional, well operated, mainstream job versus a government job as far as stability, $20,000, I'm making this move.
Awesome.
That make sense to you?
Yes, sir, it does. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerome. Open phones this hour. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Guys, one of the greatest things that'll ever happen to you is when you realize that your ability to land on your feet, meaning get another position in the market, that is where your stability comes from. And one of the things that helped me know that in my own case, is once you've owned a company and you make payroll, you realize that somebody's got to do that, and that's like a person doing that. That's it's particularly if it's a small business, right? And once you've made payroll, you understand that job security is, by and large, an illusion. And so you start to realize, hey, my ability to go into the marketplace and land, that's where my security comes from. The fact that guy can manage jobs and manage projects, that's where his security comes from, not from a government. Look, this is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's James Childs, producer of The Dave Ramsey Show, and this hour of the show is over. Thanks for making us the third largest talk radio show in the nation. You're one of 12 million weekly listeners on 575 stations. Find a station near you at DaveRamsey.com.
Hey guys, this is Dave Ramsey reminding you to catch The Dave Ramsey Show live on our YouTube channel weekdays.